For there comes a moment when the heart trembles, not because of danger, but because of wounding words carried from the lips of the one you cherish. And when they speak of your face, not with honor, not with tenderness, but with mockery whispered to others, the heavens themselves grow silent. Yet listen, soul of light, your face is not a jest, your existence is not a punchline, and your worth is not determined by the laughter of the unwise. You were shaped by hands older than mountains, designed with intention deeper than oceans. Every line upon you is a record of endurance, every angle a testament of survival, every mark a seal of your story written in divine ink. If the one who claims to love you speaks of you as though you are less, know this: it is not your reflection that is distorted, it is their sight that has grown dim. For true love does not mock, true love does not belittle, true love does not trade intimacy for applause, nor offer your dignity as entertainment to others. Stand upright, lift your gaze. The forces of heaven bow only to truth and courage, and so should you. Let no whispered insult shake the pillars of your spirit. Let no careless tongue define the beauty carved into your being. You are more than the shallow words spoken in careless gatherings. You are more than the fragile opinions of those who do not see your depth. If you are to rise, rise not in anger, but in clarity. Rise not in bitterness, but in strength. Rise not to prove yourself to them, but to remember yourself to you. For your face, your sacred living face, is a lantern forged in celestial fire, and no mockery, no foolish comment, no hidden betrayal can dim a light that was set within you before time learned to move. Stand, endure, shine, and let the truth of who you are thunder louder than their small words ever could. Your worth is not defined by another's careless words, and this truth must take root within you so deeply that no insult, no whisper, no sideways glance can uproot it. You were not crafted by human tongues, and therefore you cannot be unmade by them. Your value is older than their opinions, older than their insecurities, older than their fleeting judgments that rise and fall like shadows at sunset. When someone speaks lightly, mockingly, or cruelly about your face, your body, your presence, or anything that is part of your being, understand that their words come from the small chamber of their own misunderstanding. Their carelessness is not your heritage. Their mockery is not your identity. Their laughter is not your mirror. The truth of who you are is not something they have the authority to rewrite. Your worth was never meant to be measured on the scale of someone else's immaturity. It is not priced by their moods, their frustrations, or the shallowness of their conversations. People often speak without knowing the weight of what they carry in their mouths. They throw out words as though they are feathers, imagining they float away without consequence, not realizing those same feathers can cut like blades when directed at the heart of someone who trusted them. But even when their words sting, remember, the sting reveals only how much you cared, not how much you lack. Caring is not weakness. Trust is not foolishness. And the pain you feel is not evidence that their ridicule is true. It is evidence that you are human, open, capable of deep feeling, and brave enough to let someone close. Their carelessness is a reflection of their character, not of your beauty. Their thoughtless jokes speak only of their immaturity, not of your value. If someone you love feels comfortable diminishing you in front of others, it does not mean that you are lesser. It means that they have not yet learned the sacredness of holding another human being with respect. Let this be clear. The disrespect of another can never become the definition of your identity. Even if their words echo in your mind, even if you replay them in moments of quiet, even if you ask yourself why someone who claimed to care for you would speak in such a way, the truth does not shift. Their words may touch your emotions, but they cannot rewrite your foundation unless you hand them the pen. Your worth was placed within you as a permanent truth, not a negotiable contract. It is carved into the core of your being, your endurance, your history, your resilience, your experiences, your growth. No single comment, no private gossip, no careless remark has the power to overturn the entire structure of who you are. You are not fragile. You are not small. You are not defined by the passing judgments of those who do not carry the responsibility of your soul. You are defined by the strength that has carried you to this moment, by the unseen victories you've earned, by the storms you have survived, by the light you continue to carry even when others fail to appreciate it. If someone speaks about your face as though it is something to be mocked, understand this: your face is not a flaw. Your face is a map of every emotion you have ever felt, every dream you have ever pursued, and every challenge you have endured. It is not something to be belittled. It is something that holds your story, your heritage, your spirit. The one who mocks it reveals only their failure to see deeply, not your failure to be beautiful. Beauty does not need constant confirmation, nor does it require the approval of the shallow-hearted. Beauty is a truth that stands on its own, present even when unnoticed, radiant even when unpraised. Do not allow careless words to burrow into your mind as if they are facts. They are not. They are only sounds carried by someone who momentarily forgot how powerful words can be. Your identity is not up for public commentary. It is not open for reinterpretation by those who fail to understand your value. Your worth comes from something far greater: your resilience, your loyalty, your compassion, your fire, your integrity, your quiet bravery. These things form the architecture of your identity, and nothing spoken lightly by another person can change their strength. You must learn to separate what is true from what is merely loud. Not every voice deserves the authority to enter your heart. Not every opinion is worthy of shaping your self-perception. The world contains many who speak before thinking, and few who understand the weight of their words. But the careless cannot define the careful. The thoughtless cannot rewrite the thoughtful. The immature cannot reduce the mature. When you hear someone's mockery, especially from someone you love, take a breath before you allow their comment to become a verdict. Remember, that the power of their words ends where your own self-understanding begins. You are not obligated to internalize anything thrown at you in carelessness or cruelty. You are allowed to reject it. You are allowed to rise above it. You are allowed to understand that their moment of disrespect does not diminish the lifelong truth of your worth. In the end, your worth is anchored in something unshakable, the undeniable fact of your existence. You are here for a reason. You are shaped with purpose. You are endowed with inherent dignity. Your face, your being, your presence, all of it is part of a design far greater than the minds of those who ridicule. Stand firm in this. Let it settle into your spirit like a mountain settling into the earth. No careless word, no thoughtless joke, no whispered insult has the power to unmake what you are. Your worth is not defined by another's carelessness, it is defined by the truth embedded within you from the beginning. True love never mocks, belittles, or exposes you to ridicule, and this truth stands like a pillar that cannot be shaken by the storms of human imperfection. When someone claims to love you yet speaks of you as though you are an object for amusement, a topic for gossip, or a spectacle for the entertainment of others, understand that what they offer is not love in its true and honorable form. True love carries weight. It carries reverence. It knows the sanctity of the person it holds. It knows when to guard, when to protect, when to speak with care, and when to remain silent rather than wound. Love that is genuine does not treat your image, your dignity, your presence as something disposable. It does not cast you aside in conversations for the sake of laughter or applause from others. When someone loves you in truth, they see you as someone entrusted to them, not someone to be displayed or joked about. They understand the sacredness of your heart, your vulnerability, your trust. They do not take that trust lightly. They do not play with your name, your appearance, your identity. Mockery is not a language love speaks. Belittling is not a gesture love makes. Ridicule is not a tool love uses. These actions belong to insecurity, immaturity, and selfishness, not to love. There is a difference between light teasing born from affection and the kind of careless mockery that wounds. Love knows that difference instinctively. It knows when a joke is gentle and shared, and when a comment crosses the threshold into disrespect. True love senses the boundary, honors it, and refuses to step over it. It refuses to turn your insecurities into punchlines. It refuses to make your features a topic of casual discussion among others. It refuses to place you in a position where you feel small, embarrassed, or undervalued. Because true love is not only about emotion, it is about responsibility. When someone talks to their friends about your face in a way that diminishes you, they reveal not just a lapse in judgment, but a flaw in the structure of their love. For love that is whole shields you from the careless whispers of the world. It becomes a sanctuary where you feel safe, not exposed, seen, not judged, valued, not mocked. If someone chooses laughter over loyalty, amusement over respect, and gossip over protection, then their love lacks the honor that separates real affection from selfish desire. True love lifts you. It speaks of you with kindness even when you are not present. It honors you in private conversations, not because it seeks to appear noble, but because it understands that love does not lessen the one it cherishes. Love does not shrink you. Love does not chip away at your confidence. Love does not create doubts where none existed. Love is a builder, not a destroyer. It is a guardian, not a critic. It is a shelter, not a stage from which to display your flaws. But when someone mocks you behind your back, especially to impress others or to fit in, this reveals much about the foundation of their character. They may feel pressured to entertain, or they may be too weak to stand firm in loyalty. Some mock because they think it makes them appear clever. Others mock because they believe it shields them from being mocked themselves. But none of these reasons excuse the betrayal of your dignity. For your dignity is not a currency to be spent in conversations for the sake of social acceptance. The one who truly loves you understands that they carry a part of your heart in their hands. They understand the fragility that comes with being loved and being trusted. They know that words spoken to others echo back into your life, and therefore they choose them with care. They do not allow themselves to become instruments of hurt. They do not hand your insecurities to others like entertainment. They do not feed your vulnerabilities to people who have no right to them. True love is fiercely protective. It defends you in your absence. It guards your name as though it were guarding its own heartbeat. It does not allow anyone to speak of you with disrespect, and it certainly does not lead the chorus of mockery. If someone claims to love you but their words reflect the opposite, if they laugh at your features, your expressions, your uniqueness, then what they offer is not love but illusion. Love does not expose your sacredness to ridicule. If someone speaks of your face with disrespect, it is not your face that is the problem. It is their inability to see beauty with the eyes of love. For true love sees beyond the surface. It sees the soul within, the emotions beneath, the history carried in every line and every contour. It sees the vulnerability that comes with being human. And instead of turning that vulnerability into a spectacle, it protects it with gentle hands. You deserve a love that treats your image with honor, not mockery. A love that speaks of you with pride, not embarrassment. A love that lifts your name with warmth, not with ridicule disguised as humor. You deserve someone who understands that your presence is not a joke but a gift, that your features are not flaws but reflections of your story, that your face is not material for others to laugh at but a glory shaped by time, experience, and resilience. True love recognizes that words have power. And so it uses them wisely. It uses them to build bridges, not burn them. To strengthen hearts, not injure them. To affirm worth, not shatter it. Even in moments of frustration or disagreement, true love remains mindful. It does not weaponize your identity or make your appearance the subject of conversation among others. It holds you with reverence. even when imperfect. Remember this: if someone mocks you, they reveal their own immaturity, not your unworthiness. If someone belittles you, they show their lack of depth, not your lack of beauty. If someone exposes you to ridicule, they demonstrate their own smallness, not yours. Love that is real does not behave this way. True love stands tall. True love protects. True love respects. True love cherishes. And you deserve nothing less than a love that honors your dignity with every word spoken, both in your presence and far from it. Strength rises when you remember who you are, and this truth becomes a fire that no insult, no disappointment, and no careless tongue can extinguish. There is a moment, often quiet and often painful, when you realize that the world, especially those you trusted, may try to shrink you with words, with laughter, with dismissive comments about things as personal and sacred as your face, your presence, or your character. In that moment, strength seems distant. It feels buried beneath confusion, hurt, and questions you never thought you'd need to ask. But strength is not something you find outside yourself. Strength awakens the second you shift your focus inward, back to the truth of who you are, not the distorted version reflected by someone else's immaturity. When people you love fail to see your worth, it does not erase your worth. It only reveals the limits of their sight. The power comes not from their recognition, but from your remembrance. Remembering who you are is not arrogance. It is survival. It is reclaiming ground within yourself that you accidentally gave to someone else's careless words. It is standing firm in what is real, even when what was said to or about you tries to pull you into a lie. You were not born fragile. You were not born unsure. You were born with a core that life has strengthened again and again through every trial you've already survived. The pain you feel in moments like this is not a sign of weakness. It is the echo of your heart demanding truth. And truth says this: you are more than their commentary, more than their judgment, more than the version of you they carelessly present to others. When someone diminishes you, your mind may instinctively accept their words because your heart is open to them. But strength rises when you remember that being open does not mean being undefended. You can feel deeply without allowing others to rewrite your identity. You can love someone without surrendering your self-worth. You can be hurt without being broken. Remember who you are, someone who has endured things others will never know. Someone who has carried themselves through storms silently. Someone who has risen from disappointment stronger than before. Someone who has learned how to rebuild their heart after it was dropped, bruised, or mishandled. That history is not erased because someone made a careless comment about your face. If anything, it proves how much stronger you are than the moment that sought to diminish you. Strength rises when you realize that you are the one who decides whose words carry weight. Not everyone deserves a seat in the inner room of your identity. Not every opinion deserves to echo in your mind. People often speak without understanding the length of the shadow their words cast. They are quick with jokes, quick with stories, quick with exaggerated comments meant to impress others, forgetting that the subject of their entertainment is a human being with feelings, dignity, and pride. But strength rises when you remember you are not defined by the way they speak about you. They are defined by the way they speak about you. Your value remains the same regardless of their behavior. Their mockery says nothing about your face, your beauty, or your worth, and everything about their character, their insecurities, their lack of reverence for what should be protected. Remembering who you are means stepping out of the shadow cast by their words. It means refusing to wear the version of you that they handed out to others. It means reclaiming the truth that your face carries years of emotion, endurance, personality, and spirit, far more depth than their shallow commentary could ever grasp. Strength does not rise loudly. It rises quietly, steadily, with each thought you correct, each truth you reclaim, each moment you choose dignity over doubt. It rises when you tell yourself, I am not who they said I am who I know myself to be. Strength rises when you affirm that your value is rooted in your character, your resilience, your kindness, your soul, not in someone else's fleeting attempt at humor. Strength rises when you understand that the right people will never speak of you that way. They will never use your vulnerability as entertainment. They will never turn your uniqueness into a target. Strength rises when you remember that the one who mocks you reveals themselves as unworthy of the closeness you offered. Strength rises when you accept that you cannot control what others say, but you can control what you choose to believe. Strength rises when you decide that you will not bend beneath their words, but will stand taller because of them. When you remember who you are, you rise above the smallness of their actions. You rise above the sting of their disrespect. You rise above the version of you they tried to portray. You rise into the truth that you are worthy of respect, worthy of loyalty, worthy of a love that does not belittle you, and worthy of a voice that speaks truth into your identity, not harm. Strength rises every time you choose self-respect over self-doubt. Strength rises every time you reclaim your dignity. Strength rises every time you recognize that your identity lives within you, not in the mouths of others. And when strength rises, nothing they said, no matter how careless, how thoughtless, how cruel, can keep you from becoming everything you already are. Your presence is divinely crafted and cannot be diminished by their judgment, and this truth stands like a silent, unbreakable foundation beneath your feet, no matter what anyone says or thinks about you. There is something sacred about the fact that you exist, something intentional about every detail of you, the shape of your face, the tone of your voice, the way you move through the world, the way your spirit has endured everything it has encountered. These things were not accidents, and they were not created to be evaluated through the shallow lens of someone else's fleeting opinions. Judgment from others may sting, but it cannot weaken what was formed with purpose. Their words are temporary. Your essence is eternal. No one else was granted the power to define your design, People may attempt to shape narratives around you with careless comments or insults, but their judgment carries no authority over your original blueprint. When someone looks at you and fails to see the depth, the beauty, the dignity or the complexity you carry, it does not mean those things do not exist. It simply means their sight is limited. A person with limited sight cannot determine the worth of something created with limitless intention. Every part of you holds history. Your features hold memories. Your voice carries experiences. Your eyes reflect storms you have survived and joys you have earned. Your expression, your contours, your uniqueness. These are not flaws but signatures of a story only you have lived. To judge you superficially is to ignore the universe contained within you, and anyone who overlooks that depth only reveals that they do not yet have the wisdom to see you clearly. People often speak from the surface because it is where they themselves live. They see faces, not souls. They see appearances, not the invisible strength beneath them. So when someone, especially someone you love, chooses to talk about your face in a way that belittles or mocks you, understand that their words can only skim the surface of who you are. They can speak about the outer image, but they cannot touch the inner reality. Your inner reality is where your true worth resides, and no external judgment can reach that far. Your presence, simply your being, is significant. You bring energy, warmth, meaning, and gravity into the spaces you inhabit. You influence the people around you in ways they themselves may not fully grasp. Some people fail to appreciate this because they take for granted what they assume will always be there. They think they understand you because they see you often, forgetting that familiarity does not equal comprehension. But your significance does not shrink because they overlook it. The sun does not stop burning just because someone closes their eyes. Even if someone attempts to reduce you to a joke or a casual comment, your truth remains untouched. You cannot be reduced by someone who does not understand your magnitude. Their judgment is a reflection of their own priorities, insecurities, or immaturity, not a measure of your identity. You hold far more value than their words suggest, and the depth of your worth cannot be compressed into a single careless remark. You are crafted with layers, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. Your face is not just a face, it is a map of survival. Your presence is not just a presence, it is an imprint of everything you've endured and everything you continue to stand for. Judgment from others can only reach the outer layer. They cannot touch the inner structure that makes you who you are. They cannot weaken what life has already strengthened. Your value is not a negotiation. It is not determined by consensus or popular opinion. It is fixed, anchored, unchangeable. Even if 10 people criticize you, even if someone you love fails to speak of you with honor, your inherent worth remains unaffected because it was never placed in their hands in the first place. You are not defined by what they see. You are defined by what you are. You are defined by the resilience you carry in your bones, the compassion you show when you could choose bitterness, the courage you display even when you feel afraid, the truth you walk in even when others bend theirs. Your presence has weight. Your existence has purpose. Your design has meaning. Others may judge you because judging is easy. Seeing deeply is difficult. But you are not here to be understood by everyone. You are here to live out the fullness of who you are, regardless of who chooses to see or who chooses to judge. Their judgment has limits. Your worth does not. You shine in ways they may not recognize. You matter in ways they cannot measure. You are intricate in ways they cannot comprehend. And even if they speak with ignorance, even if they fail to honor you, even if they try to make you small, you remain exactly what you were always meant to be: whole, intentional, purposeful, and powerful. Their judgment may make noise, but it cannot touch the truth. It cannot rewrite your identity. It cannot erase your significance. It cannot dim what was placed within you before their voices ever existed. Your presence is divinely crafted, and nothing they say, nothing they assume, nothing they misunderstand can diminish the brilliance you carry.